Hi, this is Damon Tennant from www.mygedlive coming to you with another GED Math Fraction Skill problem. This is just taken from the Get Your GED Now Test Preparation Series workbook, 7 2/3 minus 6 1/2. The very first step you have to take anytime you are adding, subtracting, or even making a comparison between fractions is you have to find the lowest common denominator. The lowest common denominator can be found two ways. The first way is simply by multiplying the denominators. Then the second way is by running the multiples. And so what I mean by running the multiples is simply by setting up an old-fashioned multiplication chart. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on. 3 times 1 is 3, 3 times 2 is 6, 2 times 1 is 2, 2 times 2 is 4, 2 times 3 is 6, and then you see your lowest common denominator is 6. You also could have found that out by simply, the first way, multiplying the denominators 3 times 2 and also getting 6. This way will not always get you the lowest common denominator, but it will get you a common denominator. Running the multiples will always get you the lowest common denominator. So now we know that our lowest common denominator is 6. Then our next step is to actually create the new fraction. So when this denominator is 6 here, this denominator is 6 here, we're going to create a new fraction. And so 2 goes into 6 3 times. So because 2 was increased by 3 to become 6, because 2 times 3 is 6, then we also have to increase 1 by that same amount so that that fraction becomes new but yet stays the same at its base. Same idea here, 3 goes into 6 2 times, or 3 times 2 is 6, and so we're going to multiply the numerator by that same thing 2 and get 4. So then our new fraction becomes 4 6. So now, because this is subtraction, our third step is simply to perform the operation. 4 minus 1 is 4 minus 3 is 1 all over 6, and 7 minus 6 is 1, giving us an answer of 1 6. So there are 4 steps when it comes to adding, subtracting, or comparing fractions. Step 1 is finding the lowest common denominator. Step 2 is creating your new fraction. Step 3 is performing the operation. And step 4 is reducing or simplifying. In this case, we did not need to reduce or simplify. Now, on the GED test, you are not going to see a question set up like this, 7 2/3 minus 6 1/2. But what you might see is a word problem, and a word problem might include John had a 7 2/3 length of a 2x4, and his coworker needed a 6 1/2 cut of a 2x4. How much of John's 2x4 was remaining after he shared that piece of wood with his coworker? So on the GED test, you're going to see word problems, but it's very important to understand the skills that back up the word problems. And that's what we do with the Get Your GED Now Test Preparation Series. We teach you how to do the skill and then show you how that relates to the actual word problem interpretation, showing you how to break down a word problem to get it back down to this skill level so then you can solve the problem. The reality is on the GED math test is that it's all word problems. So you have to have both skills. The ability to do the actual skill, whether it be fractions, percents, ratio, proportions, or basic shape measurement, and then the ability to interpret word problems. And that's what this program helps you to do. So you can pass the GED math test, pass the GED test itself, and get on with the rest of your life. Again, this is Damon Tennant from www.mygedlive.com. Thank you.